BuilderBox is a construction management platform that puts your data to work. It's right off their site. And this is how they speak specifically to the project manager. As a conductor in an orchestra, the construction project manager has to keep a large, diverse group in sync and work together towards a common goal. BuilderBox will help you effectively manage your entire team with our task model, which will keep everybody accountable with real-time reports and robust notification and reminder system. We talked earlier about the challenges with emails and being copied on an email and not knowing, am I supposed to do something with that? Right. Am I going to hold up the team and the project because I was copied and wasn't specifically asked to do something? Many of us have seen that. I get 1,000 emails a day. If you don't direct this thing to me, right, it goes to the bottom of it, right? And I'm working on a project right now on an elementary school in Tacoma. And it's a renovation of a school, and we're using the GCCM delivery model. Oh, okay, okay. And in this case, we're using both Bluebeam and BuilderBox. Okay. And so those two technologies really complement each other. These platforms are all security, high-level protection. And so you have password parameters. You also have a number of users that can access these various modules. Certain areas within each one of these programs have parameters on who can access, who can change and modify. And I'm going to actually get up into the hierarchy and how the flowchart works. The common challenges that we have with communications on projects, or complex projects as the name of our class today, is you have a multitude of documentation. You have submittals, you've got requests for clarifications, you've got maybe change proposals, you've got claims, material delivery receipts, dump receipts, testing reports, and you have all this information, and where does it go? Right. Who's responsible for it? Is it going to hold up your invoice because it wasn't attached? And so these are problems. Volume of information can be a challenge, and not knowing who's responsible for what, not knowing, having that hierarchy. We're going to go through all that, and then we're going to have a much shorter video for BuilderBox. Here are some screenshots, and I want you to just take a moment to look at what you see on this screen. And unfortunately, because of PowerPoint, we can't see all the details, but if you look at the image, on the far right, you can see a little dashboard that shows that there's some action items. There's some activity going on. From May to August, you can see that things are starting to get taken care of. And that's helpful when you're in a project, knowing that your assignments are actually being addressed. And the other thing is, you'll see a pretty picture of an individual who's responsible. And so you'll see those activities. You'll also see various other items, a daily journal, the auditor, a plan room, collaboration, schedule. They've even developed their own schedule tool. They also have key milestones. And so you, as a manager, there are certain milestones that are important to you. And those should be, a daily reminder. You should be reminded of where you are with that. And so this is a great dashboarding system. And by the way, you talk about Hoffman. One of Hoffman project managers actually is one of the founders of this system. David D. Garza actually is the CEO of the program, and reached out to me and told me that he would love to have a discussion with any of you who would like to have the opportunity to explore BuilderBox. And I'll provide his information as well as the other folks to you post the class. There's many different tabs that you can see here. You can see constraints, readiness, equipment, labor, materials. But this one was really specific to readiness, and it shows that they're pretty ready, but there are some areas that they need to move on. And this could impact, the project. And so these are those flags that you want your system to have in place, because the system is designed to mitigate risk, to eliminate human error. You develop those parameters so the system can tell you what you should be doing next. Now this screen, you can see the layout of the flow. And so those individuals are responsible for executing this process all the way through to the finish line. It's a simple feature, but it's so effective. And when you have hundreds of people involved in a project, and many times, I mean, even a $10 million project has about 150 people involved. Right. You want to be able to have a tool that is able to keep everyone together. Now I'm going to give you a quick little video of BuilderBox. It will give you kind of a high-level show of what the technology is like. I know you're going to be impressed.
BuilderBox is a new kind of project management platform. One that allows project teams to communicate effectively by virtually eliminating reliance on email and email attachments, replacing them with user-friendly online behaviors that you're already familiar with. Invite your whole team, get them collaborating, and keep them accountable with a robust notification and reminder system. Document everything with dozens of pre-built forms, or customize them to suit your office standards. Capture issue-specific conversations right within the form so that you can see the context to every question and every answer. Capture data in the field right from your phone with our powerful mobile integration. Produce beautiful dashboards and reports to gain and share insight into your data. And let our smart assistant help you prioritize your day so you can make data-driven decisions. Accelerate project turnover with a true one-click archive that saves your entire project to a locally saved file you can view with any browser. Communicate effectively, document everything, make data-driven decisions with BuilderBox.
Okay, so ladies, tell me what you think about BuilderBox.
Yeah, I liked it. It looked like an integration of all of your source documents, so your Word, your schedule, your Excel, and then it let you track all of your requests coming in, whether it was RFIs, ASIs, and you could see, and it was, you know, in such a way that it was methodical so that you could go back and just read through it without having to open up 1,000 emails, but you could see it all right within that. It kind of reminded me of like almost like a Slack.
Sure.
And a text message and Skype, and how, you know, it's all integrated.
Sure. What'd you think?
I think that keeping all the communications piece would be the biggest piece for me, because email can be a nightmare, just pulling all the threads together. Even if you organize it that way, it still feels like a lot to kind of go back and keep the chain where it makes sense, and that looks like a really good way to organize it.
Like, you don't have to add in the dates because it's gonna have when the person's actually communicated it, versus you gotta open the document, see when they sent it, what's the time frame, then you gotta track it within a schedule, who answered it, you know, what's your part, any cost, associated time, and so there's a constant tracking. But that seemed like everything was right there, and I didn't see about all of the dates, but the left side seemed like there was a date on that side.
Sure.
Carmel, just to follow up on what Tina and Sharon mentioned, also I like the feature in which it allows you to use your mobile phone to the mobile upload feature. I think that's probably very useful. That integration, making that very easy.
Sure.
Because you have to think about the audience that's going to be using it, and you want to keep it pretty basic, pretty simple, and pretty easy. It seems like it would fit the bill.
So you've seen 2 programs that I've introduced you to so far. Do any of them seem overly complicated that it would be challenging for you or a staff member to possess, or
It didn't seem like it. I mean, you know, there's going to be the initial steps of training, but from the basics of what we just seen, it seemed fairly easy. We didn't
Great.
get a lot on this second one.
Sure,
But
sure.
the first one seemed fairly simple.
Sure. Now,
User friendly. Some of this stuff is not user friendly.
oh yes. This link takes you to their site where there is a video there, but then I believe they have a video for each segment and quite a bit of material on BuilderBox again. But I wanted to minimize our time in class so you could just get kind of the top 30,000, 50,000 level. Please.
Are you able to utilize this right from your either laptop or your phone, right in the field?
That's right.
Okay.
One of the appeal of this class to me is being able to leverage the technology you already have, right?
Yeah.
You already have these smartphones,
Right.
so that's the tool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we just need to make sure that the tool has the capability of
Right.
taking advantage of all these great channels.
Are they just using regular laptops or little
Most people are using tablets.
tablets
They're easier,
to carry around?
yeah.
And then, because I've been seeing people with their vests,
Mhm.
and then in the back there's a little pocket,
Mhm.
carrying them back there.
You can be remote. So if you look at the price range here,
Is that monthly or annually?
monthly.
Okay.
And so even at the worst, you're looking at what, $1,200 a year?
Right.
And that's the enterprise version.
Okay.
And you know, they highlight the advanced, and so you know, you're in a pretty good situation with this technology.
Are you able to do estimating or takeoff in that? Or is
You-
that just for communications?
It's really a communication tool. They have a schedule tool.
Oh, okay, so.
And so that schedule tool can be intelligent, just like in Microsoft Project. You can add characteristics to a schedule that will give you that type of information, but I would discourage the focus
On the scheduling?
on that piece.
Okay.
You may want to use it because there are some procurement tools
Right.
that could be helpful for you.
Like what?
For instance, submittals.
Okay,
Sometimes there's long lead items.
right.
Sometimes the submittals are tied to an architect or an owner or someone responding to a request for
So it's
information.
Timeline benchmark type of.
Exactly.
Critical
Mhm.
schedule things, okay.
Constant contact, raise your hand if you're familiar with it. Okay? So when you think about project management, a lot of times you don't necessarily think about a tool like Constant Contact. I'm going to show you why it's a project management tool. And I'm going to share my schedule. So in any given week, I can have anywhere from 20 to 35 appointments. I can have an event that I'm either hosting or co-hosting or assisting someone with. Well, I don't have a robust staff that can organize all of my events. And so what I do is I leverage a tool called Constant Contact. In Constant Contact, like all of these databases or SaaSes, they all have a little database within it. And you're the one that controls that data, okay?
So you enter it all.
You enter that or export, import, you know, push, pull that information in. And what I did the first time I used it, I did it for one of my classes. Now, ordinarily when I do a class, I do an email blast, I'll get on the phone, I'll send faxes, I'll get on the radio, I'll tell Sarah, Sarah tell Joe, Joe tell Bob, and you know how the program works, get on the social media. But when I used Constant Contact, I realized that it had the capability of doing all that and a bowl of grits.
Okay.
And I really like me some grits.
Right.
And so what I found out is I didn't have to go to my email trying to figure out who responded. Didn't have to go to my phone, checking my voicemail, see who responded. Didn't have to do all that because Constant Contact had an event-like campaign.
Okay.
I send the campaign out. Someone who's interested clicks RSVP, and now they start typing their information in.
Okay.
And magically, I get a notice that I've got to register
Okay.
to my event. Now, for me, I'm into analytics. I like to know who's in my class. I like to know what type of business they're in, what types of certifications they have, who they want to work with.
Right.
Because then it tells me how I can best assist them. So using that tool, I can survey, I can make a requirement for the RSVP.
Okay.
And then it does all the analytics, shows me a pretty little chart,
Got it.
and shows me what my return rate is, if there's a cost, you know, it shows what the, you know, the value of that campaign is. I can share it on Facebook and do all that pretty stuff, and I don't need Sarah
You can
Jo,
share what on Facebook?
the event.
Oh, okay.
Go on LinkedIn, and I'm
It'll let you upload it?
mhm.
Okay.
I'm an all-star on LinkedIn. I think I have about 7,000 contacts.
7,000?
Yeah, I have 12,000 on my phone. So I've been in business a long time. So when you have that kind of information, knowledge is power, information can be powerful if you know how to use it. And so some of the challenges I told you about, all that, the email problem and all the multitude of communications. I have a lot of different projects and programs, like many of you may have. It's difficult tracking those RSVPs and that information back and forth. Resources required to put on an event. I was paying my assistant a lot of money doing this, and I wasn't satisfied with the result.
Sure.
I know the time in the day that someone registered for my event. If they're unavailable, you know, it'll tell me that too. And now I can reach out to them and say, hey, I'm sorry you're unavailable, but guess what? We got our cameras here. And so now you can be proactive.
Yeah.
You have a site meeting coming up, or maybe a groundbreaking,
Okay.
or maybe you want to promote, hey, the company is going to have a party. We're going to bring in all our stakeholders, let them know that we're taking a different direction and we want you to be a part of it. So the campaigns can include text. They're really pretty sophisticated. I use it mostly for the calendar event piece.
Got it.
You can do it to survey your customers or survey, you know, potential prospects or peers or whatnot. But you can use it as a very proactive tool. It integrates well with social media. So I have a few videos. I'm only going to show you one, but I've embedded a couple. So this one here that I embedded is for contact management. And so it kind of tells you the benefit of, you know, leveraging their contact management piece. Now, a lot of people have CRM programs, and I'm not trying to encourage or discourage. I'm trying to show you the tools that can make you run faster, because I want my clients to run like cheetah speed. I don't want their evidence, well, I called her and she didn't answer the phone, or I sent an email and they didn't respond, and I had this job opportunity and they, you know, not my clients. My clients are cheetahs. Integration with social media. Again, many of you have Facebook, LinkedIn, and so if you have a following there,
Right.
they should be aware. And sometimes you're not thinking about that because you're running the business and you're washing the dishes, shining the shoes, and doing everything that CEOs do. But with the push of a button, you can make this campaign one that is social media driven. You can have the campaign send reminders. Hey, just wanted to remind you, we got you locked in. And so you can go to your calendar. It could be every other day, once a week, all these great tools, and you don't have to think about it anymore. Okay, now I'm going to play a brief video about Constant Contact.
Good morning, Elena Rarig here from ElenaRarig.com. Today I'm here to show you how to create an email newsletter through Constant Contact. So first off, I want to advise you, after watching this, to contact Constant Contact, and they will give you even further insight and help you sign up and give you a lesson one-on-one and teach you even more. But I just want to share with you the basics to bring awareness that this platform is out there for you to utilize. So here is constantcontact.com, and we're simply just going to log in. While that's logging in, and I'm going to take you over here to my email. And if you go over here, if you have Google Mail, you can go over here to Contacts. And you can click here and click the Export button, and it's going to export all contacts. Go ahead and use the one that's already selected and click Export. And then you're going to have a document right here. So when you start Constant Contact, you'll want to go to your contacts here. And you can add contacts and upload from file. So if I clicked that, then I would upload from file and then find this file and upload it right into it. So it's very easy to get your email contacts into it. And now we're going to go back over to campaigns and we're going to create a newsletter. So we'll click create. And send an email. So what you're going to see here is a ton of different templates for you to choose from. So you can scroll through, find the one that you like the best. Now say you like this style, but you have nothing to do with fitness. You're going to be able to replace all of these things. You can replace the picture, the headline, everything. Right, what it's doing is just showing you the font and the way that it's set up. So don't feel like you have to go with the entire template as it is. For example, one that I liked that I recently used, let me find it for you, is this one right here. And that's one we're going to use today. But as you see, it's geared towards restaurants and there's a glass of wine. And I am a publishing company, so I'm not going to use that stuff. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go through and replace all of this. So as you see, there'll be plugins here, and you can change the email if you want it to come. If you own more than one company, you can change it to different companies. So we can change the headline, and we are going to write tutorial. Pre-header, this is what people will see before they open up the headline. So you don't want to miss this. Okay. And say we don't like this picture. So we just click. Here we go. See how this is? You can put a logo right here. If you don't want this there at all, you can just exit out and it deletes it out of there. So it's no longer there. And then we want to edit this picture. And go over here to image. And then you can upload file. And you can browse your computer and add that in. Now I already have what I would want to use. I'm going to use this one right here. And now you can resize this. Right here's the dimensions. Let's bring this down to 200. It'll automatically resize both because that lock key right there is on. And you know, I don't want it at 200. Let's do 400 and do insert. Now let's delete this one out. Just click on it, hit the delete button on your computer. And if you like that, you just hit save and it closes that section out. So then you have this, as you notice, this is all just plug-in stuff that the template has in it. So you can replace this. And say that we want to put a link. So let's go over here to my YouTube channel really quick. And my channel, video manager. And I want to put the video, here's the URL, so I'll just click here, hit Control C, we'll copy that. I can go back over here to this, hit delete all of that, click the link button, and here's where I would paste that link in. And then what do I want it to say? Click here, here to meet Maroa Forsyth Grade School. Insert. So there, then I just hit save. So here is the news article of when I went to the school and taught all the students about writing, publishing, and printing their book, and then am continuing to work with them on taking all of the students' short stories in the 5th grade class and publishing them into a book. So now that if I would write more about that, maybe put a little paragraph about this, explanation of the news article, and then they could click this link and actually meet the kids in that video. So here is where I could edit this and I could just type in whatever message I want. Maybe I would say learn how to write a best seller introduction. And then I could just write a whole paragraph about that. So if this is the headline though, I could highlight that, I can bold it, I can make it larger so it's a headline. I can underline it, italicize, I can scoot over to the left, center, right, or justify. We'll keep it in the center, and we'll just go ahead and save that. So underneath that category, and the more I type, the bigger the space will get. So as you see, this is a very, maybe an inch, inch and a half of space right there, but the more I type, it'll just keep pulling the page down and making that section longer. Now this is a button where you can also link something to it. So say that I wanted that video here instead. I can click on this. That's not what I want to do. We're going to link. There we go. So here would be the web address, and then I can tell it what I want it to say. So meet the grade school. Insert. And somehow I didn't get rid of the reservation. See if that, here we go. We can just delete it right here. All right, and then click save. And so now this will be an active button. When somebody gets a newsletter, they can click on that button and it'll link to whatever link I attach to that. So you could visit our Facebook page and put your Facebook link there, whatever you want. However, all your social media links are down here. So here you can do some contact, whatever content, decide what content you want and just start plugging it in. And then social media, you can edit these. Say that you don't have Pinterest. For example, I don't have Pinterest. I can just delete that. Twitter, I have, but maybe I just want Facebook. Now you can do a change, and now you can pick different Facebook icons. So I like this one, like us on Facebook, insert. And of course, also I didn't show you this. Here is where you would actually put your Facebook link. So I could just plug mine in, facebook.com/Otter Publishing New York. Insert. So now when they click on that, it's going to take them directly to my Facebook page. So this is the basics for creating the actual newsletter. Evidently, I need to hit save. There we go. Save it. So again, you want way more content than what I have in here, but I'm not going to take the time to do all that now that you know the basic functions of creating the newsletter. So then you hit continue. And you can choose when to send it. You can send it when they suggest what time is the best time. It looks like 6:02 a.m. And then you can read, why is this the best time? Probably because people are waking up and they're having their morning coffee and scrolling through their emails or Facebook or wherever. So you can send it now, you can schedule it for later, or you can just save it as a draft up here if you want to finish working on it later if you don't have time to complete the whole thing. So that is Constant Contact and how to send out newsletters. So when somebody opens up their email from you, they're going to see this pretty newsletter. And also what Constant Contact will do, it'll tell you how many people opened it, how many people clicked on the links that are in it. So you can track all of the activity that happens through the newsletter. All righty. Well, I hope that helped you. Have a great day. Visit ElenaRarig.com, ElenaRarig.com, or OtterPubNY.com.
Here are some prices. Check it out. You can't afford not to use it, really, is what I found out. And I was told that they really are trying to create some incentives for our small businesses. So there may be even more of a discount available to you.
And they tend to be really flexible. Like I would only do events on occasion, maybe twice a year, and you use it for your event, you take it off.
Okay.
Then you put it back on again.
Yep.
Whatever works, yeah.
Exactly. So, everyone's always looking to save a buck. So they're really, really nice about letting you just add the different pieces that you use as you use them.
Right.
Yeah, I see
And
where it
take it back
has
off and
event
put it back
promotion
on.
and
Yeah.
registration, you have surveys, coupons.
So it's a nice way to do it. They're really
And they have an organic way of building your database. I told you how many contacts I have. I had to build that the old-fashioned way, right?
Right.
Now, with these tools, it can, oh yeah, there's a couple over there. Next thing you know, they're in your database. And you didn't even have to go over there. You just peeked over, you saw that they're probably like-minded people over there, people that you want to do business with.
Oh.
You don't even have to jump over the fence. Organically, what you do is you program it to go after those individuals that are like-minded.
Okay.
You have to be careful with that. I couldn't do that sort of thing in the medical industry because I
Right.
had to have permission.
Yeah.
With HIPAA rules
HIPAA,
and things, I had to
sure.
have permission to use people. So
Right.
I had to be really specific about what contacts I uploaded
Yes.
and make sure that I had documentation of permission.
Well,
So I couldn't let it hunt for me. I kind of had
Yes.
to do it the old-fashioned way as well. And,
Definitely.
and I would keep an Excel spreadsheet and upload it that way.
I'm glad you brought that up, because if you just find a database, and there's a lot of databases. We're in a database. Obviously, Diane had to reach out to you
Right.
from that database, and so you all have access to it. Well, if you use that unethically, Constant Contact will shut you down. They'll say, hey, we don't like what you're doing with this data. You didn't get permission to be adding these people to your database, so they want it to be a real database. Don't throw out that you know 100,000 people, but only 6 of them know your name. And so after they get a whole bunch of declines that this is spam, it sends a warning. And so you want to make sure that you're using it responsibly. But just a great program, really empowering. This is for profit. They said 10% off. This is what I got from one of their senior marketing people. I told you they're motivated. So you saw those prices. Well, in addition, this is what they're doing for the folks that are a part of this effort. And so if you're a viewer watching this on video, be sure you mention this class and you may be able to get the same benefit.